If you're planning to sell your home this year, there's one mistake that can cost you tens, if even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And a lot of sellers are making it right now. I don't want that to be you. So in this video, I'm going to break down that one thing that you must do if you're planning to sell your house this year. I'll give you practical step-by-step strategies that make sure that you walk away with the most amount of money in your pocket. First of all, let's talk about where we are in the Toronto real estate market. August numbers are out, and it looks like that home sales have dropped about 9% compared to a year ago. And at the same time, more listings are coming onto the market. What that means is more competition. The average selling price in the GTA right now is $1,051,000. And compared to a year ago, that's down about 5%. Homes are taking longer to sell. On average, they're sitting at 30 days on the market. And when they do sell under list price, usually about 90 to 98% of the full price. Even though borrowing costs are lower than they were a year ago, buyers are picky and cautious. And the thing is, they have options. And that's why, as a home seller, you have to prepare your home in the best light possible. And here's the challenge. Back in 2021, properties were flying off the shelves. All you had to do is put it on the market, and you usually have an offer within hours. But that's not how 2025 is. Unless your home is prepared and you market and price it properly, it's probably not going to sell. And if it does sell, it's going to take months. And what do you think happens when a home sits? Prices will have to drop for that property to sell. So what's the solution? How do you make your house stand out in a sea of competition? One word: preparation. So the number one thing you must do to your house before selling it is prepare it. I'm just not talking about staging. I'm talking about all the other things that you do to make a buyer fall in love with your house and be able to make an offer on it. And I'll cover the ingredients right now. Step one, do a pre-listing home inspection. A lot of sellers skip this step because they don't want to invest the money into it. But here's this. Imagine when a buyer's home inspector goes through and finds issues with your home. It could be small, but they could be huge as well. It might be something wrong with your roof. Maybe some parts of your house has a plumbing issue that you're not even aware about. So here's the thing. If a buyer finds that issue, they're going to panic. And they're going to think that little issue that you think it was a little issue. But for them, they could either walk away from the deal, or let's say it costs you only a few $100s to fix it. They're going to ask for a few $1,000s rebate. But when you prepare and you know what's wrong with your house and you fix it, you control the narrative. And you can fix things ahead of time, or it's something that you're not willing to take, you could disclose it initially. In this way, you're transparent. I find that always gets you a better deal this way because the buyers are not caught off guard. Next is declutter, depersonalize. I always tell my clients to remove majority of any pictures, any certificates, that sort of stuff in the room. It's very hard for a buyer to picture themselves in your home when they have pictures of your family, your friends in the rooms. Or that, there's a room that's very particular to what you are. Let's say you collect stamps. And you have a stamp collection and the buyers don't have any relations to that. Well, it's very hard for them to picture themselves in your home. And here's the advice we always give to our clients. Pretend that you're creating a model home that you'll see where developers market the property. I had one client that in their condo townhouse, they had pictures, they had boxes everywhere for storage. Well, we had to get rid of all those. And you know what? When we saw the place afterwards, it felt like it was bigger and that it felt newer as well. Step three, focus on small repairs and updates that give you a high return on your investment. Here's the thing. We're not talking about full kitchen renovations. Think of things like painting neutral colors, swapping out old light fixtures and putting in modern light fixtures. In the kitchen, you could replace faucets, door handles, little small things. Might even do a backsplash because that's probably one of the cheaper renovations you could do in a kitchen. And all these things that I mentioned are only a fraction of what it costs for a full renovation, which is not needed in my opinion. But the impact of all these little updates are huge, especially if you choose us to stage the home because everything will be in sync. Step four, deep clean and curb appeal. Hire professionals for a deep clean. Just don't do it yourself. Professionals have skill set that you might not have the time or the tools to do. Talking about grout lines, the stain that you can't get out of your carpet, that sort of stuff. A clean house doesn't only look better, the photos better as well. And when I'm talking about curb appeal, trim that grass, the bushes, the hedges, get rid of all the weeds. And remember this, a buyer will make a quick judgment on your home within the first 10 seconds of seeing it. Step five, price with precision and what I like to call dynamic pricing. Don't just look at the comparables, meaning that what your neighbor sold for like a year ago or even 6 months ago, or what's happening, what or what a neighbor is listing for. Because if that property is still listed right now and has been 40 days, that's not the right price. The market is telling you that already. And this is where sellers lose the most money. So overpricing is the kiss of death in today's market. Your home is going to sit if you overprice it. And then eventually you're going to have to do a price reduction. And what I find is that if you actually price it from the get-go, you'll actually net more money in the long run, because a home that sells quicker usually sells closer to the list price, and buyers don't negotiate as hard on those properties. Think about this. When you see a house that you like, and it's been on the market for, let's say, 90 or 120 days, first of all, what do you think? First of all, what's wrong with it? And let's say you still want it, and you see that's been on the market for a while. What do? Are you going to give them list price? No, you're going to negotiate hard. And same with other buyers with your home too, if you overprice it. So how do you price it correctly? Well, you have to see the month of inventory and the speed of the market in your area. If there is a lot of properties for sale, and you see that a neighbor or another property that's been sitting at a price that, even though someone sold that at that price 6 months ago and it's still sitting right now, that's not the price anymore. So you essentially have to come under that. And depending on your price category, you have to discount it from that. And I would also look at competition. What is selling in the area? Any places that are comparable to ours? And if they're still sitting, that tells you that it's still overpriced. And how you price, you have to price under all the competition, because the house that has the best value will sell first. So in this market, what I'm seeing is that homes that are not priced correctly, they're just sitting around. They're not selling. They're not getting showings. But the ones that are priced correctly in today's market, they do end up selling relatively quickly, within days and sometimes within a week. And these properties, a lot of times, are selling pretty close to the list price. And some of them are even getting multiple offers. And what this usually means is that more money in your pocket. And who wants to have their house sit on the market for 3 or 4 months? So here's the bottom line. If you're planning to sell your home in Toronto this year or even 2026, you have to be prepared. All the things I mentioned earlier, from decluttering, fixing small repairs, doing a pre-listing home inspection, do all those things. There's nothing glamorous about these steps, but these are strategies that we use in this market to sell our properties, and it works. So when you prepare your home properly and a buyer walks in, they feel it. And they feel that if the house is taken care of properly and that it's also in the right price, they will usually jump on that opportunity. And what that means for you is a stronger offer and a quicker offer. So don't just throw your house on the market and hope for the best. And price in 2025, keyword is preparation in terms of being a seller in this market. If you found this information helpful, like this video. Thank you. See you again.